The hardest part of a breakup isn't the big fight or the final goodbye. It's the silence that follows. It's the Tuesday afternoon when you see something funny and your thumb instinctively moves toward their name in your contacts. You catch yourself just in time, and that's when the phantom pain hits. It's the realization that the person who was the primary witness to your life is no longer there to watch. We spend years training our brains to think in the plural. We build neural highways that lead directly to another person. And when that person leaves, those highways don't just disappear overnight. They stay there, empty and haunting. You find yourself at the grocery store, reaching for their favorite brand of coffee or making enough dinner for two, only to realize you're standing in a quiet kitchen alone.
It feels like an amputation because in a way, it is.
You aren't just losing a partner, you are losing the version of yourself that existed only in their eyes. You've spent so long being half of a whole that you've forgotten how to stand on your own 2 feet without leaning. If you feel like you're losing your mind because you can't stop checking your phone or waiting for a ghost to walk through the door, understand this. Your brain is just trying to find its way home to a place that no longer exists. You aren't weak and you aren't obsessed. You are just a human being trying to redraw the map of your entire world while the ground is still shaking beneath you.
When a relationship ends, you don't just lose a person, you lose a destination. Every couple builds an invisible map of the future, where you'll live, who your friends will be, the names of kids that will never be born, or the quiet mornings of a retirement decades away. This map was the compass for your life, and suddenly, it's been torn to shreds. This is why the disorientation is so profound. You aren't just sad about the breakup, you are lost in a landscape you no longer recognize. Every plan you made, the vacation in July, the move next year, is now a dead end. You look at the calendar and see a series of empty boxes where a life used to be. We call this grieving the unlived life. It's the pain of mourning something that never even happened, but felt more real than anything else. You have to allow yourself to mourn that map, because you can't start navigating a new path while you're still trying to follow a ghost into a future that's been canceled. It's okay to stand still for a while. It's okay to admit that right now, you have no idea where you're going.
There is a reason you feel incomplete right now, and it's not just because you're lonely. When we are with someone for a long time, we perform a psychological merger. We outsource parts of our identity to them. Maybe they were the social one, and you were the quiet one. Maybe they handled the big decisions, and you handled the details. Over time, you stop being 2 distinct circles and become one overlapping shape. And then, the overlap is gone. You are left looking at the jagged edges of your own personality, wondering where the rest of you went. You don't know what music you actually like without their influence. You don't know what to do on a Saturday night because Saturday night was a joint venture. This is the half-person problem.
You aren't just missing them. You are missing the parts of yourself
that you let them carry for you. The recovery isn't about finding someone new to fill the gap. It's about the slow, often painful process of taking those parts of yourself back. It's about learning that you can be the social one, or the planner, or the adventurer, all on your own. You have to learn to be a whole person again, even if it feels like you're learning to walk for the first time. It's not a loss, it's a reclamation. In the 90s, when a relationship ended, the person simply vanished. You didn't know what they ate for lunch or who they were talking to at 2 a.m. But today, we live with digital ghosts. You have a device in your pocket that acts like a window into a life you're no longer part of. And every time you look through it, you're resetting the clock on your healing. Checking their profile isn't staying informed. It's an act of self-harm. Your brain gets a tiny, sick hit of dopamine every time you see a new post, but it's followed by a massive crash of cortisol. You're scanning for clues, trying to see if they're as miserable as you are, or worse, if they've already moved on.
You're looking for a version of them that doesn't exist anymore, through a screen that only shows what they want the world to see. To move forward, you have to kill the ghost. You have to close the window. It's not about being mature or petty. It's about survival. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick, and you cannot build a new world while you're still haunting the ruins of the old one through a 5-inch screen. Put the phone down. Let the ghost fade. When the screaming in your head finally stops, you're left with something terrifying: silence. Your apartment feels too big. Your schedule is empty. This void feels like a wound, but I want you to look at it differently. A void isn't just a hole where something used to be. It's also space. For the first time in a long time, there is no one to compromise with. There is no one to perform for. This silence is the only environment where you can finally hear the sound of your own voice again. You spent so long listening to the we that you've forgotten the I. This empty room is where you get to decide what music actually stays on the playlist, what direction you want to walk, and what kind of person you are when no one is watching. The emptiness isn't a lack of life, it's a canvas. It's the raw material you need to build a version of yourself that doesn't depend on another person's approval to exist. Don't rush to fill it with noise.
Sit in the void for a while. It's the only place where the real work begins.
You will never be the person you were before the breakup. And that's a good thing. The old you was someone who needed another person to feel complete. The new you is someone who has survived the amputation, mourned the map, and reclaimed the void. You are no longer a half. You are a whole person with a few more scars, and those scars are where the character actually begins. The geography of your life has changed, but you are finally the one holding the pen. Take your time. Don't rush into a new crowd just to avoid the quiet. Learn to enjoy the sound of your own footsteps. Because once you realize that you can exist and even thrive in your own company, you become truly dangerous to the world because you can no longer be controlled by the fear of being alone. Thank you for watching Pancakes and Paradoxes. Until next time, look up.